Pounders, back from the dead from the 24-hour live stream, feeling re-juiced. Again, we have Battle Royales out for week 1, so there is no time to take breaks. We're back. And man, week 1, I've had a little bit of time. We've done about 50 Battle Royales already. We're doing dog bowls as well. And it's funny to see this tweet come up on my timeline today from Jewish McCaffrey, one of the sharps in the space. I see everyone talking about Kyle Pitts' fake revenge game versus Arthur Smith. Really funny. But almost no one talking about the Amari Cooper real revenge game versus the Cowboys. Something I've gone over on the 24-hour live stream, even though my brain was mush. We were able to find this scroll down guy that's probably going to be under 5% owned after we release some of this, after some of the sharper people start scrolling down a little bit. Amari Cooper is one of my highest owned players, especially if he's going to project close to Tank Dell, close to Diggs, who are going to be mixed in at a much higher rate. Just give me the guy who's going to be less drafted and project the same. Especially if I'm not going to max, how can I find a way to flip the slate on its head with only 50 entries where other people are doing 150? It's finding that scroll guy that is either doesn't have to finish as wide receiver 1, could finish as wide receiver 2, can finish as the highest scoring flex. And that gives you great outs. And there's other players down there really close to Amari Cooper that I like almost as much, but this is definitely number 1. That being said, shout out to Josh over at bestballoverlay.com, my partner. He drops an absolute enormous update on the bestballoverlay.com Battle Royale focused overlay. It has team totals, it has game totals, the implied odds. So like here you have you have the 43-point total. It has a hover option. You just put the mouse over it, shows San Fran scoring 23.3 there. Gives you everything you need. The weather, this is going to be in-game, in-stadium coordinates for weather. Doesn't really matter that much on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. As you get a little later into the week, because this is going to change, of course, every day. I'll take it into consideration a little more, just personally. It's going to have your exposure percent, which is obviously extremely important. Not only that, it's going to show combinations before you draft. So let's hop into one of these BRs and I'll show you what we're talking about. Ooh, we 6 out of 6. You love to see that. Shout out to the boys showing up. Jared in the house. ER7, Logan, Chad. What's up, guys? Ben here real early, slapping the like on the way in. We get the 101. I swear. I'm not a spoon. So we could see 22% on the Tyreek Hill. Okay, I am a spoon. It's confirmed. I can't hide with my exposures on the screen. So we'll put in Tyreek Hill. Another cool feature that Josh added to bestballoverlay.com, promo code Pounders, all caps, save you guys $10 a month. Comes down to $20 a month for this product. You get to use 4 weeks of BRs. It's just incredibly low price for you boys, so everyone can use it. Whether you're doing 10 BRs or if you're maxing, I mean, it becomes a no-brainer. You can add the player right here, right? And then you can queue them right from here. So you can operate everything from this box here. The other thing, so now that we have Tyreek Hill, I can select Tyreek Hill if I want to see my exposure with the next player. Another one we can add is ETN. Do I have any Tyreek Hill ETN? I have about 8%. That's great to be able to see before I even draft him, right? So let's say we do add him, great. Do we want to get different in the third spot? Or are we the same through 4, through 5? It's just going to reduce the amount of times you're going to dupe yourself. Also going to be especially important in dog bowls that are $25 an entry. You don't want to dupe. Josh Allen off at 3. It makes sense. I think the price gap makes a lot of sense. But the way these QBs should be ranked, in my opinion, like A-Rich should be way up the board. Kyler, then Stroud, And then you have a flat tier, in my opinion, between Burrow, Dak, Tua, maybe even Jaden Daniels ahead of Burrow. There's definitely a flat tier, but this game's actually a sneaky one. Washington with a 20-point totals. It's not bad. It's not bad for a rookie. And I think someone was mentioning his chances to score a touchdown on the ground were pretty high for single game touchdowns. I think some of that stuff's really interesting to look at. I know Meg from Fanspeak does a lot of that single game touchdown calculation. Let's see what we get available to us here. I wouldn't mind bringing in ETN. Okay, so we're going to be able to. I also have a heavy bag of Mike Evans. So let's go ETN here. It's going to be a little chalk, right? But I should have more of it because we can get different in another place. So let's queue up ETN and let's add. Do we have any Walker with these two? We do. We do have a little bit of Walker. Let's go same through 3. Oh, let's get different with the fourth player. Steph in the house. What's going on, Steph? How you doing? Can you try to add Rashad White? He wasn't adding to the combo live, okay? And please, if you guys are experiencing any little bugarooskies, this just released, so we do expect there to be a few bugs, but no, he came up for me. Really cool. Really, really cool. Josh, you crushed it. You absolutely crushed it. This is all the stats that I want relevant on the screen. If you guys can think of anything else, we are going to be adding wind speed as well as precipitation percent for the weather hover down option. Pat, you're the Cooper Scooper. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. Yeah, last year we were able to identify a lot of the scroll down players that were the nuts. Wide receiver 1. We were heavy on the Pickens week where he was a scroll. We were heavy on the DK week where he was a scroll as our wide receiver 1. We weren't able to top the 10 chart on those 2 weeks, which is like demoralizing. When you find the number 1 overall wide receiver that's drafted under 5%, demoralizing. But we had a very profitable year last year in Battle Royales. We had this tool from week 6 on. We just didn't want to release. We were fine-tuning it. And yeah, happy to, obviously, it's been well tested. And the cancellations are so minimal that it sort of speaks for itself. So you have to upload, this is a good point. You have to upload the CSV right now. Josh is working on it just pulling from your exposure on Underdog. You can upload once a day. So I'd recommend if you're going to do like 40, upload after you do about 10 on day 1. Just figure out how many you're going to do in one day and upload when you're halfway through to keep it simple. Let's go. It's either Kyle Pitts. Yeah, Ferg's off. Let's bring in Kyle Pitts here. 0% on that combo. So we're already unique. With this click, I kind of want to get a little fun. If everyone's going to switch to Cooper, let's bring in the correlation here with Pickens versus Pitts in Atlanta. Another great scroll down option. Another great scroll down option. But yeah, this should be live in less than 2 weeks, where you won't have to upload your CSV, which only takes literally 15 seconds. A lot of people are high on Kamara. He projects really well from a volume standpoint, but I think in this contest, I'm a little less excited for his boom potential. I know this is going to be one of Nez's favorite running backs. I know this is one of Josh, my partner's favorite running backs, and he projects well. I just don't, from a ceiling standpoint, I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried. Don't be showing people Pickens. He's my highest exposure. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pickens and Amari should be mixed in so much more. Like the fact that they're behind actually players like Pittman and McLaurin is pretty insane. Even Ridley week 1 with Hopkins, depending how banged up he is. So here's how the wind gust is going to look. So it says cloudy, wind gust up to 15 miles per hour. It's going to show that on every single one. Oh, so cool. It's so cool. And the temp. Just so nuts. You saying Kamara is a doom. Doom, not a boom. Oh, for a second I thought someone grabbed Tua. That would have been interesting. So we get Tua for free here. It's also going to show you your correlations here on the left side. You can turn these off or on, which I like. It's highly customizable. That's what you like to see. The other thing you can do is like go highlight Tyreek Hill and then plug in Tua and see what your combination is between the quarterback and the receiver. Now, this is going to be portfolio based. It's not going to be what percent of your Hill teams have Tua. And I think I want to make an edit to that. Let me know what you guys think. Because I think personally what would be more important to see is what percent of my Hill teams have. Is that like 80%? Is that 85%? Is it like under 50%, which you would probably want to raise if you didn't know that. Maybe we have both numbers there. More information, in my opinion, personally, the better. I'm probably gonna be doing about 10 dog bowls a week if it stays at the $25 price point. We have 5 or 6 already. Let's do a few more BRs. How far down the board do you usually go in a BR? Is it necessary to do since drafts are only 6 people? Week 1, where there are no buys, you should be trying to find the players that are undrafted. Oh my God, we didn't get the 1 spot again. This is just not good for the PR. You should try to find those players that are undrafted and mix them in, right? I should have probably a little more of each of these players. Maybe this is a Zamir White guy, Zamir White team. Just because if you can tell the story that they can finish as RB2 total on the slate, should be mixing them in. I prefer the pieces that leverage elite pieces. So Waddle being drafted a lot, Hill being drafted every single draft. I'm going to like Mostert in this situation. Same thing with Mixon. Nico Collins goes every single time. Diggs and Dell are mixed in at a pretty good rate. I'm going to like these running backs a little more. Zamir White, I should definitely have shares. It's just the 18.8 point implied team total. It scares me a little bit. Yeah, we're going Tyreek here. Curious what you guys think about going all in on Josh Allen. Should he be ranked number 2? Should he be ranked number 1? Should Tyreek Hill be 2? Just with the quarterback separation. And man, A-Rich at pick 26 just seems so wrong. It seems so wrong. Higher team total than Kyler Murray. Couple points behind CJ Stroud, but obviously has the rushing upside. Projected on Underdog by 0.8 underneath. Very interesting. Yeah, hashtag get your guys, especially early. When the contest drops, what we do is when this contest drops, I'm usually putting out a video. So if you guys want to see the schedule, it's going to be a contest open BR, a midweek BR, and then we'll do start sit questions as well. We'll see if the crowd likes that. We'll start doing that starting for maybe this Sunday. Start sit questions as well as BRs. The next best time for me to draft after contest open is right before contest close. You have the most amount of information. You know where the ADPs have moved to and from. and you can create unique teams that way. And you have those players that might have gone under the radar as well, and now you have more information, and now they're very, very draftable. Chase would have been interesting there. I will say we probably would have gotten Chase. Do we want to hit this? Let's hit this one with Ingram as the bring back. And I'm just curious. Okay, we'll bring in Evan Ingram. I don't have any super heavy 40-50% flag plants this week. And I don't think you should, just based on how many draftable players there are on this slate. But let's oddly turn this into an A-Rich team. And it's probably going to be naked A-Rich. I just think Pittman's chances of finishing as a top 3 receiver this week are low. I'm going to have I have a share. This might be two shares. This is 2 shares because this is 1 share of Terry. I'm going to have a couple shares correlate with A-Rich, but it seems thin. How long after sending teams to overlay will the exposures be reflected? Same day, next day. The second you download the CSV, so you go to drafts completed, email CSV, you'll see I already emailed once today. You go to your email, you download, you go to the top right of the screen to the extension button, you log in, you click the file, you refresh Underdog, and they're up. So 15 seconds, 20 seconds, once you get really good. Like, I go to my Hotmail, I type in H to the URL, and my Hotmail comes up. Enter, newest email, click here to download. Damn, easy! Shit! Is this you must have a heavy bet on A-Rich this week. A heavy bet on A-Rich. Yes, this is how I've been playing it. I've been playing it with the Houston bringback. And personally, I should be mixing in probably a little more Nico, but I just like the fact that Dell and Diggs are mixed in at a lower rate, or Nico's being drafted to every contest. Doesn't mean I want 0 Nico, because he's going to have his weeks as well. Do you recall what the BR team was when we won? Yeah, it was a Russell. One sec. Russell Wilson, Nick Chubb. This is going to make you mad. Jerry Jeudy. Who finished he finished optimal wide receiver 2, I believe, that week. Chase. Keenan Allen was optimal as wide receiver 1. Curious, what do we need to get? No, we're good. We're good here through. Also want to see this, my A-Rich and Tank Dell. T. Higgs, Devontae Adams. I like both of these plays. Let's go Devontae Adams here. I'm going to have a lot more. I'm probably going to have, I would say 75% of my teams this week will be 2 RBs. 2 RBs, 2 receivers. But I am going to be mixing a few of these 3 wide receiver teams in where I think it makes sense. I have a lot of Joe Mixon too as the bring back. I'm curious how much Mixon and A-Rich I have, if it's more or less. Wow. Here's a hole in the portfolio. 0 Mixon as the bring back when I have A-Rich is very interesting. So like that's something that I would want to fix. Diggs over Tank. I've been mixing in a good portion of both of them. I agree that Diggs, we can probably imply that he's going to have a bigger, earlier role in 2 wide receiver sets. I'm at 12% Diggs, and we're at 10% Dell, so this will probably even out those exposures. $23 points is enough. 23 points, definitely enough. He broke a nice play, too, that week. Was that? That wasn't week 1, right? So we have Tyreek Hill with Ingram as the mini in this one. We have A-Rich naked with Tank Dell as the bring back Adams. And we get whoever we want at running back. Oh God, there's some the Gus Eddy. The Gus Eddy. Singletary is just interesting here. Close game script actually should project pretty well for week 1. Going to be extremely low owned. Do I want that with Jefferson though instead of here? Let's mix in a little Kamara. Let's mix in just a little. Scare me. When sharp people, I will say, when sharp people are clicking a player, it does worry me a little if I'm going to be heavy fading him. I don't mind being completely under, but heavy fade. And Josh, just in time for the Kamara take. The peace sign was a different. Oh, okay. Not practicing Monday. So this becomes pretty ambiguous, right? Like Higgins becomes a better click, but by the end of the week, if Chase is practicing, he probably should be mixed in less. If Chase falls to a certain point, like 10, 11, I would scoop him now. And then if you get news that he's playing, he's going to rise. So you're not going to be able to get those combinations if you get that news on Wednesday that he's been clear or he's practicing. So there's a fine balance of like, there's some risk involved in that, but it's going to take a lot to take one of these down. It takes the stars absolutely aligning. So I do weigh a little bit more of risk into how I build my teams. If we end up with Jefferson on this one, I want the Singletary bring back. Target every touchdown in that game. There's not going to be many, so maybe there is. That's the other thing, is finding that low-scoring game that pops off, goes above projections. Yeah, so sorry. Someone asked about the winning team. Russ, Nick Chubb. It was 3 receivers. Chase, Judy, Keenan Allen, Kittle at tight end. Nick Chubb was under 5% owned. He was actually on Al Smiz's 5 under 5 YouTube bit. I mean, Nick Chubb was always on the 5 under 5, and that was DFS building lineups. But he was going undrafted. Under the normal rate of 1 out of 6. He was about in this territory down here. There's a many Qs on the slate. You can get good leverage with Higgins if Chase. Yeah, I agree. I think both ways that could work. Let's go Bijan. I think there's a chance we can get Bijan with Jefferson. If not, a little Bijan JT. I'm curious what the exposure is on that. 3.5%. I still like it. It's gone. Let's go Mikey A. This should be pretty high just because of the percent. Oh, it's low. Let's go. I guess my Bijan exposure is not too crazy. This is probably 7 or 8 teams total. So we did pair Pickens with Kyle Pitts. I wouldn't mind adding Pickens as a scroll option with Bijan in this one. I'm curious if I actually have any of those. We do have one team. You can already see we're correlating our minis. We're also not getting any like unique combos to come back to us. Like if we get players that fall and trying to get pretty unique through 3 rounds, just through ADP, people reaching, we're always looking into that edge as well. We just haven't. McBride goes. I kind of want to just go Ferguson here and figure it out. I guess we can also go Evan Ingram. Getting a piece of this game feels pretty good too. I'm just gonna free ball this one like entirely. Like we're scrolling down to Terry, so we're not gonna go Pickens if we like one of these RBs. I think especially this week in Dog Bowl, if you guys are doing those contests, 2 RBs, and the fact that wide receiver falls off in that last round, you don't want to be drafting. Most likely, you don't want to be drafting a wide receiver in the last round. You want to be hitting RB because there's like 4 or 5 starting RBs still left in that 6th round. That's going to be my hot take of the week for Dog Bowls. Get your receivers early in the first 5. Yeah, Josh brings up a good point. Combo is based on the total teams drafted in your portfolio. So if you have 100 teams, then shows a combo percent of the selected players across. So you can select just these 2. If you want to see just these 2, you can select all 3. You can see this is a unique combination in my 48 drafts. Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin. We have our bring back, our stack. We can also go Mostert if we want a Miami piece in this as well. And this is just like a scroll team. This is like go get your guys, leverage the teams and players that you want to. I think this is pretty safe to probably go Mostert first. Terry has the lower ADP. Just looking ahead, like one guy needs a running back. Let's go Mostert first. And then we're going scroll. I guess Mostert's scroll. So scroll. Getting that QB wide receiver combination, if that's what ends up hitting, you get rid of a lot of the teams you're playing against. There will be Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin stacks, but what percent? It's way less than 1 out of 6. A-Rich goes at 24. I'm an idiot. Players aren't showing up in search because I haven't drafted them. Paul, you win, man. You win the internet. All right, these teams both need a QB, so I'm just going to go Jaden Daniels over Terry. He was asking about why isn't Rashad White showing up? Because you have 0 Rashad White. That's the best. Might be a good thing. Well, you know what? I do have a flag plant. I commented on not having a flag plant this week. It is Mike Evans. I'm gonna be above 33% on Mike EA. Who's been rising every single day. So I feel good getting him with different combinations early. And here we target actually could be a sneaky game. 44-point game total. And it's not drafted at the rate it probably should be. And we don't exactly know if Terry McLaurin is that just like mediocre wide receiver 2 for fantasy purposes. We need to see that big spike week. And if we could see it week 1 before we know with Jaden Daniels, that'll be nice. Yeah, it was definitely Mike Evans. You've been on him all week. Yeah, He started, if you guys remember, and Josh is going to have up part of the tool online is being able to show you where the ADPs started, which is going to be extremely helpful for these. So you can sort of get a range of where these players started in ADP and what combinations were actually available at the start, how long it lasted. It'll show you the dates, where they moved every day. That I'm looking forward to. Yes, Steph, you you did. This is like the third membership that Steph has won to the channel from just giveaways. It's insane. And someone told me, like, I absolutely brain farted on the last giveaway. I should have brain farted on the Tank Dell card giveaway that Bindles ended up winning the Tank Dell signed auto. So this is going to be going out by, I'm going to try to get out by Wednesday. The on-card Tank Dell, just like such a sick. I should have forgot to do this one. Not the not the donate cards from Ben, but these two we still got to give away. So if you guys have any ideas for the Zay Flowers by Storm card and the A-Chan sweaters, let me know. Let me know. We could just do it on a random video too. But we still have those two to give away. I actually pulled everyone's, like, I set the hashtag to say in chat, and I was like, I'll do it after these two picks, and it was like hour 22, and I just completely zoned out. But had a guess too, so maybe that was the distractor. 4K subs by Thursday, and we'll do a 48-hour live stream. Someone would buy a bot farm, so there's no chance. I'm not even offering it. I'm feeling a little better tonight, but it took 2 days of rest to like get back to some sort of normal. Oh my. All right. Let's go Josh EA. Josh Allen and A-Rich, highest two quarterbacks on the slate to projected to put one in the end zone on the ground. Ooh, paid, making his mark. The Bears deserve a not hashtag, but quotes, team you need mark on the overlay this week. I like it. If I'm going to bet on a Bear, and I have Swift in one of the Dog Bowl teams, so let it be Swift. DJ Moore's. I'm interested to see the snap count for DJ Moore. I'm interested to see the snap count. Because he could be playing 80, 85% plus snaps week one. We'll take one of these two pretty happily. And let's actually check with Taylor really low. Let's check with A-Chan. 0. Huh. Fuck. Continues to be 0. It's going to be a lot of Josh Allen Kincaid teams. Not that that's a bad thing. Let's divert here. Let's divert. But you were still drafting right after. I just completely flubbed it. Just completely forgot to run the giveaway on the last two cards. They're not even like it. They're nice cards, but it's not like monetary value. It's not like I was pulling anything. Oh man, 22 hours on the live stream, just completely zoned. Could have gone Chase there too. Would have been nice. Not overly unique though. I get rookie production is backweighted, but why are people only drafting Marvin Neighbors, not O'Dunes? I've seen a few people mixing in O'Dunes. I don't think it's the worst click. Right now, I'm more curious to see what his snaps are going to look like. Curious. We have none of this, so I actually like this a lot. I like this a lot. Let's bring in, have a scroll down Have a scroll down. If DJ Moore's still there, we'll go DJ Moore in this squad. It's going to be 2 wide receivers. I also don't mind Ridley. If we want to game stack that. And then we just go tight end by Ferguson or Njoku. Probably my top 3. I do think there's a small tier drop from Ferguson to Njoku this week, but we just don't know. Target share percent too. Yeah. There's a few things I want to see with O'Dunes in week 1. The main thing, I'm not worried about him actually pulling targets away from even someone like Keenan Allen. It's how many 3 wide receiver sets are they going to play? I would assume it's going to be high just due to the talent level. So maybe you do get Odunze playing around 68, 72% of snaps. And if he does, it's probably more than enough for him to have a nice spike week. If Trey McBride's here, we're probably insta-clicking Trey McBride. He already has a tight end. Double tight end is extremely gross. I have to say that in case he's watching. No, I'm just kidding. It is. It's extremely gross. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh. Now I really like that we went JT, ETN, and maybe sort of leverage the Josh Allen, Kincaid teams. Kincaid can have a good game. Trey McBride just has to score 0.1 points over that, with Kyler not having as big of a game. Sounds like threading the needle, but it's not as crazy as you think. Also, the bring back in this game, we're having fun. We're having fun with that. Win guess up to 15, I'm not too worried about. If it's 20 or over. Who put out, I want to say, it was the dudes from ETR, I think, went over what is actually going to affect the deep ball, what wind speed. I want to double check into that. But I want to say it's over 20 miles per hour. And it's too early. Like, this is right now, we're talking about it's Monday. So I do not want to even really look at any of the weather starting on Monday. It's something I'm going to pay attention more on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sort of tracking. Even if it's probably more towards Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning. Let's play ball. This is a fun one. This is a fun one. And this game is 45-point total. Like, it probably should be mixed in at a higher rate. Which means I need some Caleb teams, which means I need some Levis teams. I know there's someone in the chat with some Levis teams. Reveal yourself. Reveal yourself. This is a safe space. This is a safe space. So I'm curious if I have... Wow. Nice. Fade, 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 scroll on the Calvin Ridley. I think it's pretty unique, just like what I said with Josh Allen, JT. The fall on ETN and JT with Allen's nice. It won't be like completely unique, but then to get McBride at 22, I really do think that brings this way, way under 1% owned, which is exciting when you get one of those. We also built a after ADP 30 team. I'll try to find it on the 24-hour live stream as just like a little challenge. Shouldn't be too hard to find. I haven't drafted a crazy amount. And I know it has Ferguson. And it was like it was meant to be, right? Because Ferguson had an ADP of 30 overall. 30.0, which put him in play for us. Here it is. So, being that important, we go Ferguson first. Oh, good. He's at 29.9. We went Ferguson first. We bring in this Dallas versus Cleveland Amari Cooper stack with Deshaun Watson. So we have the stack and bring back. We leverage the Houston game on the ground with Mixon. We leverage the Miami game with Mostert. And we have George Pickens as another scroll guy past pick 30. Amari Cooper and Pickens, two of my favorite potential spike week guys. I hear they go boom. So this was the challenge team, and it doesn't even look that bad. So this will be a fun one to track week 1. Even if it cashes, that's a W. I'm not that crazy. Yeah, this is the full scroll team. You know, after round 3, it's much more viable. Those players in the first 2 rounds, it's hard to scroll past. But everyone, you're going to have your fades, and especially if you're not maxing, my best advice is to limit the player pool to who you think is going to have the best chance to have those spike weeks. So if you're only doing 30, if you're only doing 40, whatever it may be, maybe making a more concentrated bet so when you are right, you have a better chance of winning. As they say, you're doing too much. 100%. That was like hour 19 into the 24-hour live stream. Someone's like, build a team all 30 ADP plus. Okay, we got it. And Hodge was on earlier in the morning. He saw the team. He's like, he's like, that's completely viable. Like, I'm going to go hit the Stairmaster and draft one of those. It's too funny. Week 1, though, there's just the player pool is so big. Shout out to Jewish McCaffrey. We're in here with a bunch of badgeless. Dude, my Tyreek Hill is going to be above 25%. Oh, man. It's always punishing when you need one of the like 101. It's usually like CMC, and if you're under like 10%, you're feeling really bad unless he busts. Then you feel really good. So hopefully this is a Tyreek Hill week for my bag's purposes, because we are lucking out with 101s here. A little bit of payback from BBM being at 7% Lamb, 7% CMC, 4% Hill. We got crushed on the variance for our pick slots. So I need Malik Washington to be a thing. 16.6% Malik Washington. Jewish McCaffrey brings in Lamb with the 2 spot. Pro status with Josh Allen. We had earlier on that stream, if you guys were there, Josh Allen, Lamb, and then we got Jonathan Taylor. So CeeDee Lamb, I believe, was at 3. We got Josh Allen at 10, and then we got CeeDee Lamb at 15. And I've seen Josh Allen fall in a couple rooms to this range, but not with the combination of JT also falling. I'm tracking that team to make sure that one doesn't get canceled. Yeah, Nibs. We're feeling pretty good, man. We're feeling pretty good. All right, with Tyreek, I have a ton of ETN, a ton of Ingram. Maybe we get away from those two with this one. I want to say a good amount of my Hill shares have those two. Dude, for real. He's gotten an incredibly good run out. So a little bit of luck involved. But the thing is, like, I had about 8% Malik Washington, and then the news broke that Odell was on the pup. I had about 25 BBMs left, and I got him in like 22 of those 25 in August. I would keep this simple and just double tap this. He goes Evans. I'm curious, actually, if I have more Tyreek Hill with King. Wow, I have none with Kincaid, and I have a shit ton of Tyreek Hill. So we're definitely going Kincaid here. Let's do this. Let's bring in Marv with it. Wow. And that's one of the things that's like, this is where this becomes very useful. This is where it becomes very, very useful. That shouldn't be at 0 through 50 drafts. Whoa, yeah, 20 round drafts. I could only imagine what percent Malik I would have. I don't know if I'd even have 40%. Like that's awesome. Green Bean in the house. What's up, man? What's up, man? We didn't do the giveaway for those 2 cards yet. You didn't miss it. Yo, Ridley at 16. Okay. Might be setting something up. And that's where it's like, it's not that far-fetched. Like nothing in week 1's going to be like overly cringe unless you're betting on like a backup running back to, and I'm talking about like someone that's getting like projected 25-30% volume to come in and steal 2 touchdowns from the starter. That's where it does get a little minus EV. But here we definitely want Kyler. Do we have to worry about the McBride team? Maybe. We'll see what Jewish McCaffrey does. If not, we can pivot pretty easily to Tua. We can pivot pretty easily. Stroud is still on the board, so we're getting one of Stroud or Kyler. So honestly, I don't care what Jewish McCaffrey does here. Ooh, I'll try to find it. It was one of like my first 3 drafts. I would think Jewish McCaffrey would want to go Stroud here for the uniqueness factor, but I could be wrong. Yeah, K-Walk's nice too. I sort of want to go Stroud here for the uniqueness factor. Not going to lie. And let's do that with... Because I'm curious right here. Stroud with Kincaid is really low. I think we should be guaranteed one of these 2, but let's just grab our guy. I've been literally balancing these out, so let's see actually. Tank's at 2, and Diggs is at what? Diggs is at 5. Let's go Tank Dell here. I have a lot more Stroud Diggs than I do Dell, which I don't mind, but let's add another share. Stop cheating. Brian, you're sick. You're sick. This is completely allowed by Underdog, by the way. Tool's been completely cleared. Huds are for suckers. Thing is, for $20 a month, if you're doing these BRs, you should be grabbing it. Bestballoverlay.com, promo code all caps pounders to bring it down to $20 a month. It's insane. Insane value. It turns a phone drafter into a lappy drafter real fast. Real fast. I'll try to find this team. But it's a Josh Allen. I don't remember how it turned out, but it was Josh Allen. It was CeeDee Lamb, Josh Allen, JT start, which is just insane. That was like we had the spoons out, we were scooping. I can't remember if, yeah, that must have been on the 24-hour live stream. It's going to have a stupid high total, wherever it is. I want to say it had an 80-point total, but it could have changed too. I'm going to do a search by Allen's. I think that's going to be the easiest way to find it. Here we're going running back. We already have our Miami piece. We have this Buffalo mini stack between Marv and Kincaid. Do we want... Thing is, if we go Pittman, that's a really heavy bet. Oh, we can't. We need a running back. These are a couple scrolls that I like. Do we want to get away from that to anything else? I don't think so. Week 1, Aaron Jones still healthy. We'll see what the workload looks like. Should be at least still explosive for week 1. I don't mind mixing in a little Aaron Jones there. All right, let's try to find this team. It was a Josh Allen team. Allen, Taylor, and who'd I say? Lamb? I'm probably going to have less Lamb teams than I will Allen. No, same amount. Same amount. Lamb, Evans, Lamb. God. Okay, let's go through it again. Here it is. It's right here. 81.8. I knew it was in the 80s. We got Lamb at 2. Josh Allen at 11. JT at 14. And then we still leverage the Miami game. We actually get a stack. A little mini stack here with Mostert and Ingram. Oh God, this team turned out nice. This team turned out nice. It's still alive. It's still alive. Numi, if you're watching, go away. Go away. This is a fun one. Some of these you just have to scoop the ADP fall just because of the uniqueness factor. And I would say if there's no signs of that player falling consistently every single draft, like you see Marv fall quite a bit, I would say his ADP is probably going to go a little later as the week goes on. But these aren't players that are typically falling too far. Like Lamb, Allen are typically within 3 picks of ADP. JT should be rising. ADP of 8, we get him at 14. He can fall a few picks, but oh me, oh my. I wish you could go back into the room. I understand there is like a space issue with it, just like how much data space it takes up for Underdog to be able to do all these dailies and hold all that data. So you can't go back into the draft room to see what happened. We should do a portfolio review. Yeah, I want to do a full portfolio review. We've been super open with the exposures, as you guys know, being able to see the exposures as we drafted all off-season long since we started using bestballoverlay.com. But yeah, it would be nice to do a full, transparent review of the portfolio, see where we missed, see what we did really well, and what we could have done better. Yeah, it's just one of those that you just have to click it. A lot of those GM teams like fail. I've never seen in Battle Royale main slate one take it down where it's like, I couldn't get that combination because you needed to be in the right room. A lot of that stuff happens, like the GM stuff, the ADP value teams. They win those short game slates or the game slates that have like 4 teams. Those are the ones where it's like, okay, your team can be significantly overpowered and you might need to do 40, 50, 60 drafts before you get lucky, before the stars align and you get in the right room where they go Isaiah Likely over Mark Andrews in one of those primetime game slates, which we did do one. Let's see. It's not this one. The pick 6? No, it's not that. The goal line stand? Nope, it's not that. Although we did like that team. Maybe it was the pick 6. Team had Likely on it. That's why I said Mark Andrews instead of Likely. Thought it was this. Thought it was a $10 entry tournament. There's so many tournaments out that it's like it's hard to keep track. Maybe did that team get thrown out? I didn't think I got crazy. Oh, here it is. It's under a different. It's the 2-minute drill. No, it's not. It's this. Primetime Palooza. It has its own ADP. That's why. Yeah. This team turned out really strong for the pod. I only did one. So if I actually end up getting a team really lucky ADP falls, I won't do too many. If I'm going to target a contest, I'll do enough until I get a combination team that's like I think's unique and strong, and then I'll stop there. But if you're maxing these, and a lot of people, sharp people, crash rich, you'll see in these lobbies, especially the 2-game lobbies, and you're doing volume to get that lucky, in my opinion, combination, I enjoy that less. I enjoy it less than BR's main slate, where it's like you can 99 times out of 100 get that combination. It's available. You just have to find it. So I enjoyed that a lot more than these. Wrong, max everything out. Well, Bri H, we can't all win the Chow Chow for 50 G notes. Lose half of it on pick'ems. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, shout out to Drew. He got shut down. Not shut down, but he got limited by Underdog, by the pick'em people. $50 a player and $150 a day for pick'ems. Someone that was doing $75 bets as a unit size. So if you guys want sharp bets on Underdog, join our Discord. Shop the pick'em section if you like to do pick'ems. I'm not a huge pick'em guy. I'll do a few for the sweats. But yeah, crazy. Yeah, good for you. Good for you, Brian. I'm glad you found the mute button. All right, everyone, I appreciate you coming out. If you guys are interested, bestballoverlay.com, promo code Pounders, all caps. Link is in the description. Link is in the chat. Link is at the top of the chat. Fully recommend it. If you guys don't like it, like, money back. Like within 3 days of signing up, give you your money back. I'm positive you guys are going to like it, and it's going to be a huge impact for your BRs as well as your dog bowl teams. So appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Pounders.